we're talking about smoking bans in and of itself, but there's a larger issue here. And the larger issue is really the conversation we all should be having.
What do you think about the proposed smoking ban in bars?
I think it's a good thing. I don't think you should be allowed to smoke in bars because secondhand smoke is so bad for you, not only for the employees but everyone around. I don't smoke myself, and there's nothing I hate worse than my clothes smelling like smoke.
I don't think it's a bad thing. Depends on if you work there. I mean, it's a bad work environment for you.
You really want to be very cautious in how you deal with these, especially in an economy like we're in, because you don't want to put existing businesses out of business or thrust upon them an additional financial hardship just to maintain their existing business model.
From my own personal, obviously my own well-being, this is my livelihood. But also on the bigger issue is that it's occurring, but the people of Marion County, of Indianapolis, they don't care. You make a choice to come in here as a consumer. You see it on the door. This is a cigar smoking establishment. You must be 21 to enter. You're not going to come in here if you're not part of that.
The smoking gun's out there. The smoking gun literally has been out there for almost 50 years. When the Surgeon General came out, I think it is around 50 years. The tobacco companies finally admitted to it about 15 years ago. So yeah, they're being picked on because they basically lied for over 100 years.
Listen, no question. I mean, the cigarette companies didn't help themselves by not disclosing more information back in the 40s and the 50s.
I got a better idea. Let's take a Winston break. That's it! Winston is the one filter cigarette that delivers flavor 20 times a pack. Winston's got that filter blend. Yeah, Fred.
A lot of cities have more comprehensive smoking bans than we do in the city of Indianapolis, and people that live in those environments have this reasonable expectation, I think, that when they go into a bar, they're not going into a smoking environment. And so I do think it's sort of shocking to them to come to Indianapolis and for a Final Four, or go to have a cocktail before dinner and come out smelling like cigarettes. I think it leaves a bad impression on the folks that don't smoke and don't enjoy being in smoking environments.
I personally think it's a good thing, but that's coming from a non-smoker. I also come from Ohio, where it's been banned for quite a while.
I think the shift has occurred, and we've seen what's happened in Ohio and Illinois, where Ohio put a constitutional amendment on for the people of Ohio to vote. But it was so confusing, and all the double talk and the legal language, nobody really knew what they were voting for. The Ohio people, Illinois people, they no longer have a choice. And it's just disgusting.
Walk into a room full of smokers. How much of that smoke is going to get into your lungs and kill you? If you frequent these establishments quite a bit, and they've proven it.
Right.
The majority of people out there right now don't smoke.
Coming from a non-smoker.
As a non-smoker,
I'm not a smoker. As a non-smoker,
I don't smoke myself.
I don't smoke that much.
And there's a need for non-smoking restaurants. There's a need for non-smoking bars, like in Broad Ripple, that Brothers is very successful, and it's non-smoking.
For example, like BW3s, they're non-smoking for a restaurant.
But that's the business owner's choice. And it's the business owner that takes the risk, that puts in the investment of the capital. And I don't think many people realize that even for a small business like mine, and I'm not even a small business, I'm a micro business, we still had almost $400,000 in investment to open this place. Between inventory, exhaust, my smoke eaters, these antique lights, all of it.
First insane laws that Hitler passed were anti-smoking laws. He started telling people where they can and can't smoke. So I think this is more of a move towards a gradual getting people to submit to any kind of direction that the state tells them to do.
Conversely, the people who oppose that really sort of just want to enjoy the freedom to engage in unhealthy behavior. As odd as that sounds, I mean, there's a lot of things that we all do that are unhealthy and unregulated.
And there's 95 bars in Broad Ripple, you know? So we're talking about 397 places in Marion County that is still smoking, and they want to take that away.
Core of the debate, I think, has been balancing that balancing act between government regulation and individual freedom. So where do you draw that line? I mean, we already regulate tobacco products. You know, you have to be a certain age to purchase them or possess them. Already regulate where you can smoke them. It's just, where is the proper line for that regulation to end, and what is that balance?
Well, I think they should be allowed in the hookah bars because that's their main line of business. There's nothing to do there if there's no tobacco allowed, and you know that going in, that's the purpose of the place, so you can avoid it if you don't like tobacco.
Patrons want to smoke, and the people who serve want to smoke, and more power to them.
You know, when you bring up a cigar bar, that's a form of niche marketing. You know, that's their forte, but if the law passes, well, they're going to have to find a new niche. They're going to have to be an outdoor bar and have it be a smoking cigar bar. It's just, they're just going to have to adjust with the changes.
You have the choice, you know? I mean, we have choices. Or we should. I mean, that's why we're here. You know, you form another country. Another government, another country if you don't like it, you know, I mean.
That's what this country's founded upon. I mean, there's competitors everywhere. If they don't want to switch and be an outdoor facility where the smoking is for the cigar bar and get a new location, then I have no problem with them going under.
What is the real role of government here? I mean, is it to force upon the individual and the individual business owner the will of the majority of the people? Or is it to ensure that the individual rights of those business owners aren't trampled on by the majority? And so it becomes a very difficult decision.
I mean, if I don't have people coming in here and enjoying a cigar and a bourbon, I don't have a business. And so, I mean, I did my due diligence, I did my research, and there was a need for it.
There are a lot bigger issues, I think, than cigarette smoking. I mean, there's the issue of contrails, or what they're calling chemtrails, where there have been scientific studies done. I mean, this isn't some bizarre conspiracy theory. This has been reported in mainstream news reports. Weathermen have said they can't explain checkerboard designs in the sky. So they're poisoning the air on a much bigger scale than what my cigarette does.
What's next? The other argument is, what's next? Beef? Hamburgers? I just came from McDonald's. Yeah, pizza. I mean, what are we banning everything now? No one can have fun?
Next will be the Krispy Kremes and the McDonald's and that's what, you know.
To see the light, to see the light.
Kind of a 2.0, if you ask me, a 2.0 of Hitler, of eugenicist programming. So I think they would encourage cigarette smoking, actually, but that's neither here nor there.
Okay.